Welcome to
I think it's episode 181.
Forgot.
Thank you. Episode 100. I realized I forgot. 181 of the Crafty Boys. My name is Shane. Who are you guys?
I'm Alan.
And I'm Jim Bob.
Jim Bob.
Welcome, Jim Bob. I certainly hope that you'll be enjoying and filling Dave's space. Actually, that's all he really does is take up space.
Before we start, Shane, I'm going to steal the floor away from you.
Steal the floor.
I'm going to steal the floor.
Floor stealer,
you. Point out to everybody out there that today is this day that Shane was brought forth into the world from his mother's loins. That's a great visual, but it happened. What was it? 46 years. 46 years ago today, he was expunged into the world. So, happy 46th birthday, Shane. Don't look a day over 50.
I know, totally, huh? I was kicked out of the womb.
Yes.
And brought forth upon this world.
We have no womb. We have no womb for you.
Well, there. I don't know. How do you recover from that? So, I can tell you exactly one thing we can do by trying to recover from. But if you guys have been following that the other day, yesterday, day before, was it today? I don't remember. The Canadian federal budget was released, and well,
many beers.
Beer prices are going up, boys.
Oh, that sucks.
The excise tax has been updated to include things such as, cannabis. And that also means that brewers are going to have to pay more for their supplies in order to make it. And therefore, the trickle-down effect will be that we'll have to pay more.
Shane,
more.
It's your birthday, and we should do things however you want. But should we not introduce this week's beer?
Well, no, because we can't drink the beer until we've really hashed out just how much this beer would have cost today and how much it's going to cost.
Haunting me
2 weeks from now.
Right.
It is a nice can, Alan.
It is a nice can.
Would be taunting you.
But the beer that's cheap this week and will be more expensive next week, after May 1st, is this one. And Dave picked it. I helped.
It's more Shane's because I felt bad because I was like,
you dropped the ball.
Dude. So
say the name of the beer, Dave.
I don't think Dave knows the name of the beer.
I like
Did
the
you
sound
actually
of it.
get the beer? Yes, you got the beer. All right, this week's is Dead Frog's Murder in the First Degree. The spiced red ale. Sorry, it's called Redrum. And full disclosure,
just call it the murder beer.
I've had 2 of these today so far.
It is. There's a lot going on in this beer. Like just by reading the description, there's so it's a smooth red ale with a crisp hint of spice like caramel, malt, and a rum barrel infused finish with rich flavors of toasted oak. So there's a lot of stuff going on here, which is interesting. It's only a 5%. So if it's aged in rum barrels, I can't imagine it was aged for very long.
I highly doubt it because it's definitely got something. As you're right, it has the spiciness.
It smells amazing.
It smells really good. So this
really
beer, Dave, tell us about the history of this beer in great detail. I want to hear everything from the beer unit level to, the international beer unit level to.
Okay.
You know.
Hang on.
It is very nice. Have you guys? So I'm going to taste mine.
Okay, so it's got a really nice red can.
Oh,
keep going.
I'm like pulling shit out of my ass here now. Like the beer units has got to be floating somewhere around 15 or something, because
you're not off by much. 18.
Oh, how's that for a guess, boys? And I'm the one that's most clueless here.
Well, this is, as Alan pointed out, it's got a lot going on, and it's got a really nice ambery, orangey color. And it's only, they call this a seasonal, October to March. So I don't know. Why have I not seen this before? At least maybe not recently.
I've seen it around.
I haven't. The can is new to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen it. I hadn't been. It didn't really attract my attention. Interestingly enough, it's kind of flown under the radar to me. So for my flavoring, for my review on it, I definitely taste it. It's definitely a spiced red ale. I don't know if I'm getting very much of the oakiness from the aging with the rum barrels. I think maybe it kissed the rum barrels like for maybe a few seconds or something.
Maybe a little tongue.
Yeah. So I don't know how much barrel age this actually is, and I think it would stand to reason because of the alcohol content is low for a barrel aged brew. You would normally expect to find it much higher than 5%.
Oh, way higher, way higher.
But you know what I mean? It's still not bad. It's a pretty good beer. I agree. This is more sort of like a fall winter kind of thing. We're probably getting the last of this stuff now. They're probably selling it off. That's why it was on sale this week, actually. But
well, yeah. I mean, as far as I could tell, it's been on sale for a few weeks now because of just how the website works for the whole thing. But
right
for the beer liquor store in our province, I give it a thumbs up. There were now, as I said, we cracked open a few earlier, like in the last couple of hours. And people in the building where I live were up on the roof making pizza on the barbecue, stuff like that. And I shared it around. And some people were kind of like, eh. Some people were like, wow. So it definitely appeals to. I didn't get any sort of, oh, God, and people spitting it out or anything. So,
right.
So overall, I got to give it up to Dead Frog. They're doing not a. I mean, I'm curious how long this one has been around for. Like, is it been like this is the last few years? Has it been like the last?
I don't
20?
recall seeing it before this season. Mm-hmm. So I think this was probably a fairly new one, but I don't know.
Well, the next beer that they're putting out, of course, is a summer beer called the Lime and Ginger White Ale by the name of the Moscow Mule. Ooh, so we'll have to try that at some point because I know that's exactly why I was thinking about it, because Dave really likes, beer.
Ginger.
That's, has flavors like that in it.
That's
so,
what can I say? Weak spot for ginger.
So as I said earlier at the opening, beer is only partially expensive. Partially, what does that even mean? Is less expensive today as it will be after May 1st or so. What do you think, guys? Think what would this beer here be worth it to you if it were 25% more?
25%.
I just pulled that number out of the air. I'm just saying, like, if it got a lot more expensive, what would you guys think?
I may just quit drinking.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if we're talking like 25%, yeah, no.
That's significant, man.
That would be significant. And you know what? I have a feeling it's going to be a lot less than that. It's probably going to be something that you're not even going to notice it, right?
What is the estimate here that it's going to be less than 1%?
Oh yeah.
You're not even going to notice it.
But don't forget, this is actually a tax that will trickle down to us. It's really going to hurt the producers of things that make beer. So,
so are you saying that they're upping or actually adding on like a new tax on hops, malts, etc., etc.?
It's going to hit hops and malts definitely. From what I can tell, it's not like, I mean, the list that they've provided is not that detailed. But the big thing is that eventually it's coming out of the cannabis section of the new budget. So yeah, I'm kind of curious exactly how it's going to impact us. I would like to have a bit more detail, but I think right now I don't think anyone really knows.
We'll just have to see what it's like. I mean,
yeah, well, yeah. So as I drink my spicy beer,
I just want to give a shout out. So last week we did the Stave Us From Ourselves, which was a barrel aged beer from Phillips, and in that recording, I had asked a question that I didn't know what this Stave Us From Ourselves, what the stave referred to. And thankfully, Dave McCann has shown up out of the woodwork, pun intended, to inform us, and thank you for this, Dave, that a stave is one of the wooden slats in a barrel. So that was the significance of that. So thank you, Dave McCann, for that comment on the YouTube channel from last week. Good to see you that you're still watching the show. Thank you very much. And actually, it's interesting. He made the comment while we were still recording the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, huh? Why do we seem so shocked? Oh man. Well, I want to move on to some happier news. I noticed this article just not too long ago in the last hour, but apparently in Nebraska, after some historic some floodwaters have receded, somebody has located a full fridge of beer. So Nebraska has endured historic flooding over the last couple of weeks. And despite some harrowing stories that resulting from the floods, 2 men found a fridge full of cold beer in a field after the flood waters receded. Snow melt and heavy rains have sent the Missouri River pouring over the levees in Nebraska, forcing the evacuation of towns. However, on Sunday, 2 buddies out to survey the flood damage on a farm near their town were surprised to find a fridge sitting in the middle of the field, and it was filled with ice cold beer. Now,
wow,
the beer itself, I did look this up here. It was filled with, now here's the sad part. It was filled with Bud Light and Busch Light, BUSCH. So picture yourselves, guys, in a field. It's cold out. There's tons of snow. You've had your town flooded. Would you really be that excited to jump for joy at a beer fridge filled with like Bud Light?
No. No.
I'd have to say no.
Wow, free fridge. What's in it? Beer. What is it? Bud Light. Dump it. All right.
Give it to my father-in-law. Call my father-in-law. Hey, your fridge is in my field.
Just as a minor aside here, gents, on YouTube at the moment there is a Love, Death, and Robots what is it, collection of shorts,
okay,
one of which actually takes place in a fridge.
Sorry, wait. The actual. Sorry, what?
Well, sorry. The story revolves around this ancient fridge. It looks like among like the first handful of generations of fridges. It's intense. It's got a really weird style handle that I've never seen before. The motor is on the roof instead of underneath.
Yeah.
Which I guess is the way they used to do things.
Yes,
I don't know.
It is. Yep.
And in fact, you may or may not find this mildly interesting, but Topher Grace is the lead for that little story.
Oh,
which I
is
thought
he
was
is he playing the fridge?
He's not exactly.
So you're saying the fridge is what? Not
the
being
fridge
played by
is its own entity. It has its own agency. And there isn't direct communication, but you could argue there is communication between himself and his girlfriend,
fridge?
I think it is. And
his girlfriend is the fridge?
No.
Poor guy.
No.
So the fridge is not. I'm confused. So the girlfriend is not the fridge.
You're also probably quite tiddly at the moment too. In short, they move into a new place. Well, old place.
With their
got
fridge.
This fridge, and it turns out the fridge is a little funkier than they would have expected a fridge to be. It's a good chunk of stories. I would encourage you guys to check out. And that's just one story, and each story is completely different. It's got absolutely nothing to do with the others.
And every story has a fridge in it.
Every story does not have a fridge in it. This is the only story that has a fridge.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the entire series.
Tiny little robot. Sorry, no.
Okay.
No. Although it revolves around the theme of love, death, and robots.
Dave, you're making this more complicated than it needs to be, I think.
So, well, now of all the major appliances that you could encounter in your lifetime, whether you own them or not, aside from the fridge, what other appliances would you actually wish to encounter that had some sort of ability to communicate with the people that own it?
I'm thinking zero.
Like the ones that have like the biggest stories to tell.
Yeah. What would that be?
Well, I mean, an oven would have a lot of stories to tell, I would think.
Okay. I mean, I
think a fridge would have more to say.
No, yeah. I think a toaster would.
The toaster. Ah, yeah. You fell for the man-eating toaster trick. Well, I don't know. I'm just kind of curious. What was the in Ghostbusters 2, the dancing toaster? Do you remember what music they played? I can't remember. I want to say like Chuck Berry. It wasn't Chuck Berry. I cannot remember.
I don't remember.
That's so sad. We're sad and pathetic people.
Yes. Well, because we're like in our late 40s now. Like you can't even say that you're in your mid 40s anymore. Now you're in your late 40s.
That's true. We have all three of us here are now in our late 40s. And you know what that means? That means that we either have to go to the bottom of the ocean to dig up beer salvaged from shipwrecks or get cameras in our butts. So
why not both?
Why not? You know, I could be kept alive by air being passed through my rectum while underwater. Apparently that's a thing.
Does this allow you to breathe?
I'm trying to picture how that would actually work. But yes, the last article that we have today is about beer salvaged from a shipwreck from 1886. Dave, did you want to mention if you you brought this one up? Do you want to mention something about it?
Go ahead.
All right. Well, essentially, it turns out that this beer. Let me back up. Yeast salvaged from bottles found in a ship that sank off the coast of Long Island in 1886 has been brought, not the ship, but the stuff has been brought to the yeast has been brought from the bottles up to the surface. And basically, they've been doing this for 20 years for some reason, which really surprises me. But the beer has been the yeast has been brought up. Beer has been created, and now people are fighting over it because apparently the yeast is of some rare variety or has some sort of copyright thing. What was it? Not copyright. What's the word? Yeast extracted from the bottles. I lost the paragraph. Damn it.
All right.
Anyway, basically, would you want beer from this ship?
We don't want beer from the ship, but let's be clear about something. When they say they're using yeast from that ship, they're using the strain of yeast, not the yeast itself. They're using that yeast to cultivate new strains of that yeast to use. So they're not using like 200-year-old yeast. Right? They use 200-year-old yeast to create new yeast, which is what they're using in the beer. So yeah, sure, why not?
I mean, remember those yeasts that were being extracted from the private parts of people?
Yes.
Did that ever get made?
I think it did, but it was more just a publicity stunt. So what they did is we talked about this on whatever show it was. They actually, found models, like female models, like good-looking female models, and took, yeast from down there and made beer with it and sold it with their picture on it, saying that you're basically drinking, and it was very limited edition. You paid a lot for those bottles, and I don't think there was anything all that special about it. It turned out, but yeah.
Oh.
Nicely done.
Basically, it takes eating out to.
let me drink to that.
I'll buy that for $1.
Oh my god. So my lord. Yeah, we're going to hell. But I don't know. I think it's really it's kind of cool that there are still places in the world where we can find artifacts that we can bring back to life, like the beer that was made from those I guess I want to call them jugs of dried liquid from Egypt, where they were able to find essentially, I guess, determine some of the recipes of beers that were made back then. But I would never have thought it was off the coast of Long Island, of all places.
I don't have an article up to show you guys or anything like this, but I was listening to the radio the other day, and
the what?
The radio?
Is that like the internet?
Kind of, but it's kind of like over airwaves, kind of like Wi-Fi. Anyway, so they were saying on it that they were referring to an article that scientists said that they could recreate dinosaurs inside of 5 years. I don't know. They didn't elaborate how. I'm assuming it's not, using frog DNA in Dino
DNA.
Dino DNA. Have these guys not watched Jurassic Park? I mean, seriously. I mean,
apparently
hello?
not, because we're gonna get eaten apparently by the end. I was listening actually, probably last week sometime. I was listening to the song that Weird Al did, the MacArthur Park version.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park is, I can't sing it. We'll get dinged, but
in the dark.
yeah, exactly. And I always thought it reminded me about the Jurassic Park films and that kind of stuff. And I'm sad that I want more dino books that are not crazy. Because I read the books first. Speaking of films and dinosaurs, today, did you guys see it was officially announced that yes, Bill and Ted 3 is being made?
Yes, well, I thought it had already been officially announced, but like several months ago, but whatever.
I was actually surprised Keanu Reeves didn't have his motorbike hat on or something, or a shirt. Have you guys checked out Keanu Reeves' motorcycle company?
No.
Oh, that's too bad, because you'll miss out on the special deal of their first generation of motorcycle that are only worth about $80,000 US. So
okay,
just saying, man.
Good for him.
I'm gonna get all over that.
Would you guys actually, if money was no object, would you buy a motorcycle of any kind? Doesn't matter what it is.
Sure.
And would you? Yeah. You'd go on like a cruise around the wherever,
I'll be honest with you. I've never ridden a motorcycle before, so I have no idea what to expect. But I give it a try, and if I liked it, then yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. Dave, you ever driven a motorcycle?
Scooters.
Same.
No motorbikes.
I don't know if that's the same thing.
Not really. Kinda.
When I was a kid, I would ask for motorbikes.
If you're on a scooter, it's like you're going whee, but you can't really do that on a motorcycle because you look like an idiot.
What's wrong with saying wee? Going, motoring along on your motorbike. I mean, that's not uncool.
No, you don't look very manly when you're doing it.
Yeah.
What if you go wee? What about that? Is that more manly? Is that better? Is that what you're,
That's better.
Wee.
Yeah. And you actually nowadays have to make sure you go out and get a helmet that's shaped a little bit like a skull.
That's true.
Or one that's shaped like a Nazi helmet. With
that's the 60s. That's the 60s, man.
I mean, like the little spike on the top?
Yeah.
World War I
yes.
German army helmets?
Yeah, oh yeah, okay, sure.
What's in this beer? So overall, to finish off this beer, I give it a thumbs up. The Redrum Red Spiced Ale from Dead Frog.
I do as well.
I think it could use bigger cans. All cans should be half a liter or more. But your final word, boys?
Yeah, it's good. And to Shane,
all right, half a thumb.
Happy birthday, man!
Yes, it is my birthday, everyone, and I will now be officially sworn in to ruling the universe, especially since I believe in a ruling class. So, boom! I totally messed that quote up. I firmly believe in the ruling class, especially since I rule. On that note, thank you everyone for watching. We had several viewers in today, which makes us very happy. And beer is awesome. Alan, take us out.